and I've gotten nothing back. For some reason, the FBI has gone radio silent on me, and we have had ongoing discussions because we've tried to be helpful over the many months now that this has been going on. But they've ghosted me, and I don't know what that's about.
Imagine having the perfect clue to solve one of the biggest kidnapping mysteries in the world, but the police simply decide to ignore it and walk away. When the terrible news about Nancy Guthrie broke out, rumors spread everywhere that her kidnappers felt guilty and apologized to her family. But that was a complete lie. The real ransom note had absolutely no apology. Instead, a shocking twist came from a secret tipster who emailed TMZ, claiming he knew exactly where Nancy Guthrie was held captive. "We told the FBI everything we knew. We even offered to pay the tipster with our own money to solve the mystery and bring peace to Savannah Guthrie and her loved ones." But then, something completely unexpected happened. The FBI suddenly went completely silent and ghosted us. Why did the world's biggest investigative agency bury this amazing clue? Here is the dark, untold story that has been kept hidden from you. When the horrible news first came out that Nancy Guthrie had been kidnapped, a massive storm of rumors started spreading all over the internet and television networks. The biggest and most popular rumor in the media was that the people who took Nancy Guthrie actually felt bad about what they had done. People everywhere were talking about a supposed letter where the kidnappers wrote to Savannah Guthrie and her entire family to say they were deeply sorry. The rumor also claimed that the kidnappers admitted in this fake letter that Nancy Guthrie was sadly no longer alive. This gave the public a false story to believe. However, the speaker from TMZ makes it perfectly clear that this popular story was a complete and absolute lie. When the TMZ team and the FBI looked at the actual official ransom note sent by the real kidnappers, the truth was very different and much more frightening. In the real letter, there was absolutely no apology to Savannah Guthrie or her family members. Furthermore, the letter did not say that Nancy Guthrie had died. Instead, the real ransom note only contained one chilling and cold message. It said that Nancy Guthrie was still alive, but she was very, very scared. This was a massive turning point in the investigation. It proved that the stories on the news were completely wrong. It also gave TMZ and the FBI hope that if they moved quickly, they might still be able to find and save her. The contrast between the public rumor and the dark reality made the situation feel incredibly serious. The most shocking and unexpected twist in this dark story happened when the news outlet TMZ suddenly started receiving mysterious emails from a complete stranger. This secret tipster was not one of the original kidnappers. Instead, he was a third person, an outsider, who claimed he knew the exact location of the kidnappers and knew exactly what happened to Nancy Guthrie. In his very first messages to TMZ, this man sounded extremely panicked, rushed, and desperate. He wrote directly to TMZ saying, "Time is of the essence." This meant they had to act immediately, and there was not a single second to waste if they wanted to save Nancy Guthrie. He promised to share every single detail he knew, but he had one big condition. He wanted $100,000 in return for his information. Why did he need so much money? He explained his dark past to TMZ and the FBI. He told them that he had an old criminal record for a burglary that happened 11 years ago. Because of his criminal past, he knew these dangerous kidnappers personally. He was absolutely terrified that if he exposed their secret to the police, the kidnappers would either frame him for the crime or brutally kill him. He needed the $100,000 to completely change his identity, run away, and hide underground forever so he would never be found. But then, a few days later, he sent another email that broke everyone's heart. He changed his desperate tone completely and wrote a simple, devastating line: "Time is no longer of the essence." This simple sentence had a tragic and painful meaning. Nancy Guthrie was no longer alive, and there was no need to rush anymore. You might easily wonder, why would any smart journalist believe a random stranger on the internet who was asking for $100,000? Usually, in big, famous cases like the tragic disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, many fake people, liars, and scammers try to step forward just to steal money. The speaker from TMZ openly admits that he is usually a very skeptical guy. He does not believe people easily, and he knows how scammers operate. But despite all his doubts, he strongly believed this secret tipster was telling the complete truth. His reasoning for believing the man is based on simple human psychology. If a scammer wants to steal money from a big company like TMZ, or from a wealthy family like the Savannah Guthrie family, they will always try to create a sense of extreme panic and urgency. A normal scammer would say, "Give me the money right now, today, or Nancy Guthrie will die." They do this so the victim does not have time to think logically. But this secret tipster did the exact opposite. By telling TMZ that time is no longer of the essence, he actually stopped the panic. He took away all the pressure to pay him quickly. In the mind of the TMZ reporter, a fake person who only cares about money would never destroy their own chance to get quick cash. Because the tipster removed the urgency and accepted that the rescue window had closed, His story felt completely real, raw, and genuine. This psychological proof made TMZ believe that this man truly knew the tragic final fate of Nancy Guthrie. Because the team at TMZ strongly believed the tipster was telling the truth, they immediately handed all the emails and communication records over to the FBI. At first, the FBI took this fresh information very seriously. However, instead of dealing directly with the human tipster, the FBI decided to use high-tech digital methods to solve the crime. They started a secret cyber investigation to find the kidnappers. The FBI secretly transferred $270 into the kidnapper's digital Bitcoin account. The FBI agents hoped that by tracking this digital money on the complex internet blockchain, they could find the exact physical location, IP address, and true identity of the people who took Nancy Guthrie. During this highly sensitive secret mission, the FBI gave strict orders to TMZ. They told the journalists to stay completely quiet, not to publish any stories, and not to tell the public anything at all so the kidnappers would not get suspicious. TMZ waited patiently, hoping the trap would work. Sadly, this highly technical Bitcoin plan was a complete and total failure. The FBI could not trace the money, the trail went cold, and they lost their digital target. The most confusing and frustrating part of this entire situation was how the FBI treated the secret tipster. While they wasted precious time and resources on a failed Bitcoin trap, the FBI completely ignored the real human being who was willing to tell them exactly where Nancy Guthrie was. The FBI absolutely refused to pay the tipster the $100,000 he wanted, and even worse, they stopped Savannah Guthrie and her family from paying him with their own private money. It made no logical sense at all to abandon such a strong lead. As many long months slowly passed by, the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie was going absolutely nowhere. The case was turning completely cold. The reporter from TMZ felt extremely frustrated, restless, and angry because he knew deep down that they had a solid, truthful lead that was just sitting there being ignored. About 3 weeks ago, the TMZ reporter decided to take matters into his own hands. He called his trusted contact at the FBI and made a very bold, unique, and generous offer. He said to the agent, "Listen, this case is haunting me. What if TMZ pays the tipster the $100,000 using our own company money to make an exclusive investigative documentary? If the guy is telling the truth, he will lead us directly to the remains of Nancy Guthrie. The kidnappers will finally be caught by you, and Savannah Guthrie's family will finally get the peace and closure they desperately need. And if the guy turns out to be a liar and scams us, then TMZ loses the money. The FBI loses nothing, and there is zero risk for you." At first, the FBI agent found this documentary idea very interesting. He promised the reporter that he would talk to his superior team and get back to him with an answer soon. But what happened next is the biggest, most frustrating mystery of all. A week passed, and the FBI went completely silent. The reporter from TMZ called them half a dozen times. He left multiple voicemails and messages, but the FBI completely ghosted him. They simply refused to answer his calls anymore. Why would the FBI ignore a completely free chance to solve the Nancy Guthrie case? Do they know a dark secret they are hiding from the public? This sudden, unexplained radio silence from the authorities leaves the tragic and heartbreaking story of Nancy Guthrie as an unsolved, haunting mystery that may never be closed.